Excuse me, because I just woke up. But while I'm here spending time with the Lord, He's speaking. And if I don't make a video, I'll forget. And so this video is about 3 different components. One is the outlook on life. Outlook has to do with what is your outlook on God. It will either get you to pray, get you to fast, get you to go to Him for all things. Your outlook of who He is. Is God love in your outlook of God? Or is He disappointment? Is He discouraging? Sometimes people pray, they don't get what they want, so they get discouraged and disappointed, and they don't want to go to God, right? So then the outlook really matters, not just with the things of God, but with life in general. People's outlook on life a lot of the time is to be happy. And that's a flawed outlook, because if you're not happy, you're always going to be discouraged, disappointed, because things are always happening in life. Every day of our life, something happens. So if your outlook is just to get to the place where you're happy, then you're going to go through a lot. You're going to have these moments of looking around that are considered happy moments where nothing is going on. But they're not many in number, right? It's those select few that are along the path of nothing happening that, it doesn't happen frequently. Something's always happening, either to us or to a family member. Somebody's sick, somebody's got hurt, you have to run to a hospital, you have to go here, you have to pay bills, you have to go to work, you have to, be on top of stuff. Something broke, okay, now I have to buy a new one, or an appliance, or whatever. And so if happiness is like what's tied into all of that, then it's going to be, really, really difficult. Now, the outlook, and then we'll move on to the next component that I want to talk about. So happiness shouldn't be the reason why you're alive. It should be destiny. It should be something like legacy. It should be like identity, who you are, right? And your outlook should be, and all those things should be tied to God, by the way. But also, like, if you look at life in general, what do you have a lot of? What is always coming at you? What is always something that you always have to deal with? Your outlook should be based around that. And then you should base your outlook on something sense, this is always happening. Let me put myself in a position to where I am triumphant over these things. And these things benefit me and they don't hurt me. In other words, if you're always facing adversity, if you're always facing trials, if you're always facing testings and things are always going wrong, then position yourself in a place where your outlook is, these things are making me stronger. And I love it when these things happen, because it teaches me something. It edifies me. It blesses me, because my identity, I grow as an individual, right? You look at the same problem. It's the same thing, but you're looking at it from an angle where it's like, yes, instead of no, So the outlook really matters, and you have to ask yourself what your outlooks on life is when it comes to everything, family, everything. So, so that's a little tip right there. So that's what God was telling me down here. He also told me, when you're climbing the mountain of the Lord to get a good, like Moses, when he climbed the mountain to spend time with God, it takes time to get up there, right? The Israelites got so impatient with Moses because he took so long to come back down. But even just to get up there to God, it takes a long time. And what I mean by that, in a metaphor, is that it's a humbling experience to go up in the mountain of God, right? You go through a lot of trials and testings and obstacle courses in order to get up there. There's a lot of things that Satan wants to distract you with and get you to stop and look down and look back. And friends are calling you, and family wants your time. And so when you're climbing the mountain of the Lord, what I mean by that is that you have an objective. You have your mind and your heart is set on goals with God. Okay, I want to get closer to God. I want to get closer to His path. I want to know Him. I want to achieve this. I want to get delivered from that. And so this is like climbing the mountain of the Lord to get to the top, to where you get a great view of God. And when you get a great view of God, God Himself delivers you and liberates you and blesses you. And you come down like, remember what Moses came down like? He was radiating in glory. And he was radiating in glory so much that people had to look away. Okay, this is what happens when you spend time with God, right? And so it's like, deliberately and on purpose, people have to, on purpose, set in their minds and hearts, that this is what they want for themselves. Otherwise, it's not going to by accident happen. It just happens because, just like when you get in a car, you drive to your destination, you get there on purpose. It is the same thing. So then that's the other thing that God wanted me to say. When you climb the mountain of the Lord, there's going to be a lot of distraction, a lot of things trying to pull your attention away. But the view of God, what you find with the blessings, the rewards, the everything is well worth it when you get up there to the mountain of the Lord. And so God has put it in you. He's put it in me. He put it in all of us, certain objectives that he wants us to fulfill. For me, it's like evangelizing and stuff like that. It's like, like giving him my time, giving him my day, not just my time, but just like giving him my all. We move from glory to glory, faith to faith. I have been walking with God for 11 years now. So it's, for me, this is the best route that I could ever take for my life. I know that it's the best route that everybody could take for their life too. But some people are not convinced of that. Some people have to go through the journey of seeing what this world is all about, only to then, a lot of the time, they already have gray hairs and this and that, to then find a slow life, a life of, okay, it's all about God and family and tranquility and just living that calm, soothing, peaceful life, right? Where there's not a lot of things going on, but I'm in control of everything and things are moving in the right direction, right? I found that life and I wouldn't have it any other way. And so my bills are paid, responsibility is up, things are not chasing after me. I'm not trying to run away from this or run away from that, right? And it's because of the life, that simple life, where it's like, you know what you got to do and you do it. So then climbing the mountain, the outlook of God. And let me just touch on that real quick again. I heard a sermon and it really made sense to me. And I'll try to do as good of a job as they did, right? William Hinn, which is Benny Hinn's nephew. I've been watching him and he's really good. Passionate soul for God, right? He hits these spaces and with getting close to God, that it's not for show. It's not because he's just like, he's really hitting it and it opens up an atmosphere that God enters into, and then you feel like he's clicking into like God himself. You feel me? So then there's people that pray and they're praying, but then there's people that track where God is at and they bring God into the realm where they're at because they're tapping into God himself. That happens with practice, right? That goes back to climbing the mountain of God. The more you do anything, the better you get at it. And so he can do that, and I sense it because I feel like, God is in that place. And not everybody has that gift to be able to call God down. Everybody has it, but not everybody chases after it to find out how to do it. And but everybody has access to it, yes. And so what William Hinn had mentioned was that, God's wrath is love. Everything derives from love. God is love. And so his wrath, his judgment, all these things that people are scared of, including myself, are things that derive from a place of love and has justice tied to it. And it has the right mentality, the right thoughts. It's clean, it's pure, it's holy, it's good. It's not perverted. It's not, I want to smite people. It's not that anything like that. So when we think of God's wrath and judgment, it's tied around love. It's linked to love, and it gives you a different outlook on God when you think about it from that circumstance, right? But we know the people that smear God's judgment. They smear it. They're usually atheist, unbelievers, and they say, well, God just wants you to do it his way, or he will smite you, or he will throw you to hell, and this and that. But everything that God does is done from a place of love, and it's tied to love. And so then God says, I wish that none perish, but all come to repentance. So that he says, it's my good pleasure that everybody inherit the kingdom of God. And he says, I'm slow to anger, right? All these things, why? For our benefit, so that we can catch a glimpse of a revelation, so that we can get on track with God. So it's like he withholds all of that, but it's coming from a place of love. He wants you to get your life right for your own benefit. If you get your life right, you'll bear the right fruit. You'll have the right thoughts. You'll have the right attitude. You'll have the right feelings. You'll have the right outlook. You have the right identity. And all of that benefits you. And so as a good father, out of a place of love, he wants you to get right so that you stop getting wounded. You know, because living the wrong life, you get wounded all the time. Wounded by other people, wounded by wrong relationships, wounded by wrong decisions, wounded. And it's living a life of destruction. He doesn't want that from you. So God, being love, wants you to live the right life. And he pulls you with cords of love. Pulls you with cords of love. He's very patient, kind, and generous with us. But we must catch the revelation that he does it because it's for our benefit, for us to follow him. When he says, follow me, everything that God says in the Bible, like literally everything, the hard things, the easy things, the things we want to do, the things we don't want to do, but everything falls under the headline of it benefits us to do it, and it's out of a place of love, and it's the right thing to do, because when you look at every other scenery and every other route, you would choose that route if you had more understanding on how everything else has thorns and thistles, crooked roads and ambushes and enemies.